Yay, algebra! We're a bit short on time, but if I can speed run a Mario level, I can speed run CO26, and so can you. Okay? So, we are going back to equations of linear functions, and the equation we've worked with the most is slope-intercept form, right? Y equals mx plus b. I'm just going to put it over here on the side just so we can refer to it there. And what does slope-intercept form tell us about the graph of the equation? Looking at an equation in slope-intercept form, what does it tell us about the line? Lucas? Huh? Oh, you were in your hand? Claire?
It tells us the slope and the y-intercept.
It tells us the slope and it tells us the y-intercept. That's why it's called slope-intercept form. Okay? It gives us the slope, it gives us the y-intercept. There's another type of linear equation called point-slope form. Now, what do you suppose point-slope form tells us about the equation or about the graph of that line?
You're finding a point and slope.
It gives you a point, not the y-intercept, just a point, and it gives us the slope. Okay? This is used frequently when your y-intercept is a fraction. Right? Because if you're graphing an equation in slope-intercept form, and it's like y equals 1/7 x minus 3.7, that's awkward. It's awkward to plot the point 3.7 and then awkward to use the slope up 1/7 to find the second point. So point-slope form is kind of another form of an equation that's used frequently when your y-intercept is not an integer. And point-slope form looks like this. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1.
I knew it. You literally just confused me in like a million ways.
Okay.
I knew it.
It's literally so simple.
Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Okay? And the nice part about this is that it's got some similarities with slope-intercept form, right? What variables do those have in common? Y, x, and m. Okay, we'll start with those. The y value, not y1, okay, we've seen this before. Remember that lower number means like an order to it. We saw that in the slope formula, okay? But the y variable represents the y value of any ordered pair, can't spell today, of any ordered pair on the line.
I spell it out with a V.
Just like it does in slope-intercept form. Right? In slope-intercept form, that y represents the y value of any ordered pair that's on the line. The x value is very similar. The x represents the x value of, again, any ordered pair on the line. Okay? Again, just like slope-intercept form. The m in point-slope form represents the MLOPE, or slope, just like it does in slope-intercept form. But what slope-intercept form tells us is it gives us that b value, that y-intercept. Okay? In this case, point-slope form, the y1 represents the y value of a specific, not just any point, a specific ordered pair on the line, or point on the line. And the x1 value, you can probably guess,
Specific.
of a specific, the x value of, again, a specific ordered pair on the line. And what does this form tell us about the graph of the line? Well, it gives us the slope and a specific, I'll use point because that point slope form, right? A specific point on the line. It tells us the slope and a specific point on the line. And again, why do we have this? Why deviate from slope versus form when it's so handy? It's because when your b value, that first point that you plot, is a decimal or a fraction or just kind of nasty, it's tough to use slope with that to graph the line. This is an alternative, easier way. Okay? Question so far? Henry, are you still confused a million ways?
Less. And less.
Perfect.
Only 1,000.
Perfect. Okay. I can deal with 1,000. So, like we saw with our slope formula, these negative signs, the subtraction signs in point slope form get a little bit tricky, okay? It says, don't let the subtraction signs in the equation form fool you. They are part of the equation, not x1 and y1. What this means, okay, is that if I gave you this equation, okay, our x1 value would be -7. And our y1 value would be +5. Why would that be? Right? We said point slope form. Point slope form is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. If this is the equation that I give you, that x1 spot, why would it be a -7? Think back to our rules for addition and subtraction. We saw the same thing in our slope formula too. Let's come back to that, okay? Let's do the first one. It says, write the equation of the line described in point slope form. For the bottom three, show how you calculate the slope. So for these top three, I give you everything you need. I give you the slope. I give you a point that it passes through, right? So our slope, that's m. The 6, 4, which variable in point slope form does the 6 represent?
X.
X, 1, right? That specific point. I'm giving you a specific point the line passes through, therefore it's x1. What does the 4 represent?
Y1.
Y1. Again, the y value of a specific point. So putting this into point slope form, if my form is y minus y1, y minus 4, right?
-3.
Equals our slope 7 times x minus x1 or x minus 6. Note, these values are both positive, +6, +4. In the equation, they become negative. Why? Because the form has subtraction signs in it. Okay? The form has subtraction signs in it. So it would not be y plus 4, because if you subtract y1, y1 is 4, y minus 4. This negative sign is part of the formula, so it's got to be there. Madam, was that funny? I don't think I made a joke. Asher, did I say something silly? Oh. Do you have a joke for us? Oh. Oh, save it. Next one. Slope of 1/3 passes through -2, 1. What variable does the slope represent, the 1/3? The m.
So,
Yeah.
is that like is that all I have to do?
Yes, that's it.
It's so easy.
It's deceivingly easy because when negative signs come into play, it's a little bit trickier, and you'll see why shortly here.
Oh, sick.
But that -2, what variable does that -2 represent?
X1.
X1, the x value of a specific point. What does the 1 represent?
Y1.
Y1, the y value of a specific point. So now going to my form, going to point slope form, y minus y1, which is 1, equals our slope, 1/3, x minus, what's our x1 value? -2.
So plus 2.
And what happens when you subtract a negative number?
It becomes
It becomes addition. Okay? So we're actually going to write this as x plus 2. Okay? So now that we see this, going back to my original question, why is it +7 in the formula, but x1 is a negative number? It's because of how a negative sign interacts with a subtraction symbol. Okay? This is where folks get tripped up. right? They forget it's kind of, you know, the value of our ordered pair was the opposite of what you see in the formula. This is a positive y1 value, even though it's negative in the formula. That's because the subtraction sign is part of the formula. The last one, our slope. Here's our m. -8, the x value of a specific ordered pair. -4, the y value of a specific ordered pair. When we write this, y minus y1 is y minus -4. Equals our slope of -5 times x minus x1. Well, because x1 is a -8, it becomes x minus -8. Which means we're going to write this y plus 4 equals -5 times x plus 8. Do you see why that relationship exists? Are there any questions on this?
Next one.
Okay. Yes, I do. You get it now? Okay. So the next three, I don't give you the slope. How do you calculate the slope?
y2 minus y1 over x2.
Go ahead and use your slope formula. Calculate the slope that passes through those 2 points. You want green or pink? Or it's like a star theme, space theme? You want cherries on it?
Yes. Can I have the cherry one? No. Sorry. I needed the cherry one.
There might be more in the bag. I'm not quite sure.
Oh,
Ow, I cut myself.
You need a paper?
I got yourself.
I just cut myself.
I slipped my wrist. I slipped my wrist for a cherry.
I learned that the hard key.
Okay, folks, here we go. First step is to find your slope using our slope formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. I got -1/3. Do I have someone that can confirm that?
Second.
Okay. So now we have the slope. We know that our line passes through both of those points. We only need to pick one of them. Okay? So you could have, for an equation in point slope form, you could have y minus 6 equals -1/3 times x minus 3 if you use this ordered pair. Or if you use that ordered pair, your equation is y minus 4 equals -1/3 times x minus 9. Right? There are two options here. Because you have two ordered pairs that the line passes through. You need both of them to get the slope. But once you get the slope, you only need one of them to put it into point slope form. Okay? They're both correct. Okay? They're both correct. And here's the most brilliant part of all here. If we were to convert these to slope-intercept form, they'd be the same. Okay? If we were to convert those to y equals mx plus b, they would be the exact same equation. Isn't that fun?
This is awesome. You have no less confused me. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay. Based on the time we have, your homework, if we don't play the number game tomorrow, it is going to be the biggest travesty of all travesties. Only 2 of them to do. Just these next
Wait,
2.
we don't have to rewrite?
Don't X this out completely. We will go over it a little bit tomorrow, but it's not part of your homework. Your homework is only
I swear, if we don't do a number game,
these 2 here.
someone's purposely just gonna not.
Questions, comments, concerns, complaints, comments, congratulations, criticisms.
Look, it's snowing.
All right, that's our math.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.